Small Town Minds.
Hi guys, this is Small Town Minds, a podcast about anything, everything, and nothing at the same time from two guys from a small town, Tennessee. Sometimes three guys, but Matt's not with us tonight, so it's just Braden and I that's going to be doing it tonight. Hey, Braden, what's up?
Man, a whole lot to talk about. As we record, this was Thanksgiving weekend. Hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving. Anybody who listens, same to you, that type of thing. And ready to just get into all the news from the past couple weeks.
Well, a couple of weeks of news, and we only touched a surface of anything because there's just tons of stuff all the time. But as far as the Thanksgiving weekend, there's certain movies that I watch all the time now, and there's certain genres and stuff. But obviously, one of my genres is horror. So Eli Roth's Thanksgiving movie is the one that I'm going to watch probably every year on Thanksgiving now. And at the end of that movie, they play a song by the Misfits called "Where Eagles Dare." And I was telling you about it earlier. I was like, this song is just stuck in my head because after I watched the movie again, and I love the song. And the thing about the Misfits and even like the Ramones and stuff, I love those bands, but there's such a beautiful simplicity to that stuff.
Yeah.
I even hear this from people who don't like Nirvana and say, oh, they weren't a great band. They were too simple, in a lot of ways. But I don't know. Like for me, I like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like it just works for me. It's all really simple as far as like put together, I guess. But they have their own, version of it, their own flair that works. But it's really catchy. I feel like it just resonates with me personally. But do you think that that's any credence to that? Like, where it's like, well, it's not true genius when it's so so simple, kind of a deal.
So, no, I disagree with that. You've got bands like Pink Floyd, ELO, Rush, who it's layers upon layers and keeps going and going, and all that's great. That has its place, but also two things can be true. You don't need that a lot of times. If you've got a story to tell, something that catches people in three chords, sometimes that's all you need. I remember that song as well. Was it Where Eagles Dare, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, I did think it was the Ramones, funny enough, because they played some of the lads we used to hang out with back in the day and have crossed paths with. They played at local basement band. Wasn't a garage; it was a basement. And I had it in constant rotation on late night Mario Party, GameCube nights, just listening to music, doing things we probably shouldn't have done. And good memories of the Ramones, Misfits, a lot of those simple bands.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I ever told you, but I actually went over there. I know the people you're talking about. I went over there once, maybe twice. I think it was once. It might have been twice, but and they were. I think at that time they were in need of a bassist. I'm not a bassist, but they were doing Misfits. It wasn't this song. It was what was it? Some Kind of Hate, I think, is the one that they were working on at the time. But so I did kind of mess around with it a little bit with them, but again, I'm not a bassist, so I don't know. I don't know where they moved on after that, but yeah, I was over there for a couple times.
Yep.
All right, so let's get started with a lot of stuff. One thing I want to talk about was pros and cons of living in a small town. We talk about small town minds. Of course, we grew up in a small town, and we're both still in small towns, right? I mean, your town's relatively small, mine's relatively small, although not as small as the one we grew up in, right?
Yeah.
But we've all ventured out though as well. We've lived in cities. Now, did you live in Johnson City? Where was that you lived at?
Greenville. It was about 45 minutes west of Johnson City, but it had a college campus. I would compare it to like a Cookeville,
Okay.
kind of that size.
So kind
Maybe
of
a tad
micro
smaller.
city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Still a lot bigger than the
Oh,
place
yeah.
we grew up at, you know. So and Matt, he has lived up north a little bit, and I have too. So you know, it's different, obviously, when you compare and contrast all these different places. But growing up in a small town, I mean, what would you say? What are some of the advantages? Is there any at all?
I think so.
Okay.
From the standpoint of, I think you do develop closer relationships.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of the people we've mentioned in the past on this podcast, some of the people we were just talking about, still keep in contact with all those people. Might only be once a year, twice a year, whatever, but you hear from them. Some of them even more frequently than that. And I think the relationships are a lot tighter. I think, for me, I have a circle of probably half a dozen to a dozen people. If I had to rattle them off, that I contact on a regular basis, and I would consider a circle of friends. And the majority, if not all of those, are from the small town we grew up in. That's not to say I don't text other people, I don't have close relationships, but it is different. You do miss out on a lot of things, but there are a lot of things. I don't know if I can name many of them on here, even though the statute of limitations has probably passed. But there's a lot of things stories we can tell that people who grew up in cities. Wow, you did that? Where was the cops? Well, not nearby in most cases, or you knew the
Sure.
cops. So things like that. It is a little bit more, for lack of a better way of putting it, Dukes of Hazzardy. And not that you're constantly running, but it's that good old boy. Again, for lack of a better way of putting it, that good old boy, just camaraderie in whatever group you're in. I just think it's closer relationships, and maybe it's just me getting older and being sappy, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, that obviously was definitely true back in the day. I'm not sure how true it might be today growing up,
fair.
as things change, cell phones, surveillances, cameras, drones, things like
Yeah.
that seem
Yeah.
to be prevalent everywhere. I'm not sure exactly how much trouble you can. I mean, there's still pockets for sure.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, if you go down to Brimstone at night, you're probably gonna, find
Yeah.
some places you could get into some trouble. But yeah, you're right about that. I mean, as far as the friendship thing, probably not as much for me as with you. I mean, there are some for sure, but I know, I think that, for me, I when I grew up there, I mean, I was too much of an outsider really to really like have a lot of friends there. So, but I mean, yes, the ones that I talk to, obviously, I've known Matt for I don't know how many years, so I mean, but as far as, I mean, I guess it's different for everybody with that sort of thing. I mean, there's some people who live in cities that can, still maintain good friendships there. But a lot of that too is like, when you move and away, I mean, it does get harder, obviously, kind of out of sight, out of mind, especially, because at one point I was over 8 hours away, so that, you don't get to kind of travel back that much. And I really don't even get back that much anymore now to the county itself because, I don't really have a lot of, my immediate family's not there at all anymore. So, I really don't get back there that much anymore at all. But now, you know, but you was a little bit on the other side. Now, Matt and myself, we were over on the Moss, Brimstone side kind of a deal. You were more on the really overall, even on the other county almost, weren't you?
Yeah,
So
probably 5 minutes from the county line.
yeah,
Yeah, so I actually, my grandmother, here's boring part of the podcast if you want to fast forward, but my grandmother actually lived in the house that now my mother has, and that's where I done a lot of my growing up. We did have a house over in the other county, Red Bowling,
yeah, right.
and Red Bowling Springs had a house over there. So I lived in Macon and went to Clay,
Mhm.
and some unique experiences. We used to play, and this was uh, after I graduated, but a lot of the group of friends, fuck it, I'll name drop Cliff, Rusty, um, even Tuck. We ran that basketball court there for a while, kind of glory days type of shit, and we played a lot of the Red Bull and people um, that were on the high school team, and we'd bust their ass. But no, and it's little shit like that, man, that I think, like I said, the relationships and the close knit stories and things like that. Now, you said cons, so
Yeah,
on the topic of sports and things, we didn't have a high school football team, didn't have a golf team, didn't have a music program.
no music program other than the musical itself, which was a
Yeah.
program and it was only a one weekend deal. But yes,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Not only that, but like not science departments. You didn't
Yep.
do like experiments and stuff like that. I mean, there was a.
Yeah. It was typically Mr. Birdwell. I don't
Mr.
know if you
Birdwell.
had him or not, but it was just
Absolutely did.
he would just talk about music for half the fucking class, and
He was one of my favorite teachers because he would talk
he
about.
was,
He
but
was a little bit more like a college professor in a way. He would just talk
yeah,
about things, instead of doing all textbooks. So I like that.
yeah, but it just when you said science, he was, yeah, agreed, one of my favorite teachers as well. But yeah, we did miss out on a lot, but I don't know, like there was 18 people in my graduating class, and
Wow, wow. And I thought mine was small.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was I don't know. In some ways, I think like I said, we did miss out on a lot, and we did, but it's such a tight knit group in a lot of ways. So
Well, I mean, it was K through 12, so
yeah,
I mean, it
yeah,
was really small, but not just school though. I mean, as far as the town itself, I mean, I feel like one of the main things is lack of opportunity,
yep,
uh, lack of just culture in a lot of ways.
oh yeah,
Nothing. You were talking about antics to get up to and stuff. I mean, sometimes you just did that out of necessity because there wasn't a lot
yeah,
of other things. There wasn't like a theater to go to a movie or a play to go to see at so and so or any of that sort of stuff. And as far as like industry,
yeah,
when we talked about it before about the um, all of the factories that came and went, but other than that, I mean, there wasn't much to do, and even to this day, and I mean, it's not just where we were. I mean, the county as a whole, the whole entire county, really bad. The big hot seat of the county, which we didn't go to. Like even if you look at that town, the growth has been like non-existent over the years. They had a Dairy Queen, which was a staple for the longest
yeah.
time. It's gone. It's gone now.
And man, you were doing something if on a Friday or Saturday night, you went to Dairy Queen and rode around over there and never knew
Yeah,
what you were going to get into. So they did have, um, I can't remember the exact statistic right now, but it was more pills per person per capita in that county. It was either anywhere in the state or anywhere in America.
It was Anywhere in America. I think you were talking about that on our old podcast
Yep.
about Geraldo Rivera coming down
Yep.
with the
Yep.
opioid crisis.
Yep. So got that going for him. So I don't know.
you gotta be first at something.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's kind of life in a small town. I mean, there's like I said, there are some pros, but there's definitely some cons, some things that you kind of miss out on when you don't have the opportunity. Lack of opportunity, I think, is the big thing there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move around. We got some other things we want to talk about. Tennessee state troopers arresting sober people just to hit the DUI number quota. Pretty wild stuff here. And I've been seeing this on and off for a few months, and I thought, well, that's kind of weird. But now we got an actual, I guess, whistleblower of a trooper saying, "Hey, yeah, we're forced to do this." Thoughts on this? Is this legal? Does this really pan out? Now, I did read one story where like a guy got incarcerated and got like lost his job or something because he didn't show up, or maybe stuff like that. So obviously, those are real life things that happen. But I mean, are they really like getting charged? I mean, I don't know, getting charged, but does it really happen? I mean, when it comes up in the courts, are they like really saying, "Yeah, okay, pay it," or get a DUI class?
So I had some experience with police in that area, in the area we were just talking about, and I do know that what I was originally busted for, I needed to be busted for, and after that happened, I noticed a lot more cops following me.
Yeah.
Not that I did anything like, oh my God, nefarious or anything like that, but did some dumb shit. But I noticed a lot more cops following me, pulled me over a couple times, profiling, if you will.
Yeah.
So it's nothing that to me sounds unusual. It doesn't surprise me. Now, to your question of are they actually getting charged or are they having to pay the money? I don't know. Again, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm a firm believer that the DUI program is a money racket. I don't think it rehabilitates hardly anyone. So they could give a shit less about any kind of rehabilitation. So they probably are making people pay some small fines just to get out of it or get it off the record. Whether they pay the entire fine,
Yeah, well, what are we looking at? We're looking at numbers like, okay, like in the past, we have been able to arrest some X amount of people for DUIs and stuff. Now that we're in a different sort of age, some people are being more conscious about things. Other people are using Ubers and Lyfts and just being more responsible in that area. Are we talking about just saying, oh, we're not getting the numbers, we need to just go and start arresting sober people?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? It's wild. I have a couple of cop stories like not like this, not bad like this. So probably not as bad as yours either. But our neighbors state neighbors to the north in Thiel, I was back when I used to go up there all the time. There's a couple of stories. One was my car was in a parking lot, and I was actually, I don't know, probably 20 feet away from it because I was going to the payphone. My car was stopped, parked, and cops just zoomed in and put the blue lights on my car. Wasn't doing anything. It was literally parked there. And I was just looking back at it like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Totally crazy. And then one night, because I'm a night owl, so one night super late. I mean, I don't know how late it was. Probably like 2:00 in the morning. Who knows? I'm going through town, and as I get like right beyond the square, like I get inundated with like, I don't know, 5 or 6 cops, just like hit me, boom. And and kind of like what you said about profiling, I think it's just like, oh, who is this guy that's out in town at this late at night?
Yeah.
Especially with out-of-state flights, right? And all they could tell me was, well, we got a call that there was a robbery and the car matched this description. Yeah, okay, sure. You know, it's
Uh,
like, whatever. Man. So that's crazy. I mean, arresting people just to make money is,
yep.
like you said, it is a scam. It's travesty, and it really there needs to be reckoning with this. That's crazy. All right, some other stories. AI app creator in some trouble for making an app about avatars of dead relatives. I can't talk to them. Avatars of dead relatives. We talked a little bit about this last time in Susan and Slumbers, but now I guess it's a free for all with anybody here. So you just load up, I don't know, pictures, videos, or whatever, and I mean, it's already began. Yeah, we knew this was coming, but
Yeah.
looks like it's already here. So, and you talked maybe a couple podcasts ago about are they going to be in toys? Well, they're already in toys. There are already people warning against the toys and telling parents not to buy them for their children. So that's happening already.
Yeah.
Any words on that crazy boom?
So first, the dead relative thing. So like, it's not a bad idea in theory. However, I could also see it being used very oddly, weird. Like
Yeah.
it could go down a slippery slope very fast. And then the AI toy thing, I think it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt put out a really good PSA about
I
it.
saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
I told you my story a few podcasts ago about my daughter playing. I've got a Pixel phone with a Gemini, and it, she played with it like a night and a half. I let her play with it one night, and then the next night she was like, "I want to talk to my friend," and I'm like, "No, nope, nope." So the AI toy thing is very concerning. The train has left the station. I mean, as I've said, we still don't know what the hell AI is. We don't. And I don't know. I fear by the time we figure out what it is and what it can do fully, it'll be too late. But and I don't mean to sound hyperbolic when I say that, but I mean, it's the only way I can put it.
Well, I mean, right now it looks like they're probably just novelty toys, right? But eventually, I mean, we're going to see this stuff in Barbies and
Oh,
everything, aren't we? I mean,
yeah.
it's just going to be integrated into it, I'm sure. I mean, unless there is a major pushback with consumers, but I mean, let's face it, that's probably not going to be the case. Ooh,
Yeah.
shiny new.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's wild stuff. All right, let's go on to another story. British woman flew to Florida hoping to be violently murdered.
uh,
And I'll just go ahead and jump to the punchline. She flew to Florida and she was violently murdered. All right. Thoughts on this?
I mean, mission accomplished. Why? What? So, I mean, the guy that did it. I mean, hey, I was just doing what she asked. No, I don't
Yeah.
even know. Like this was like a fetish thing, right, or something?
Yeah. Obviously, some fringes are on the internet there. Now, and I think maybe her thing. She said she wanted to be like obviously there's bondage and like sexual escapades here, but then like and I think she said and potentially murdered. So she obviously was suicidal to a degree. At least she had an adulation of it. I'm not for
Yeah.
sure how completely. You never know in the moment what that looked like. She might have been like,
Yeah.
okay, wait, no, I don't want to do it. I don't know exactly, but he, whatever, obviously went ahead and did it, and he's arrested now and probably will face a lot of time, if not life here. So it reminds me of that story in Germany, what happened with the guy, and you probably know this one, where the guy, the guy met up with the other guy because they would talk for a long time, and the guy wanted to be eaten. So the German guy got him and brought him home with him, and you know, cut off some parts. Even the guy even ate some of his own parts, and then he ended up, killing him and eating the rest of him and stuff. Now that guy, the guy who did it, he went to jail. Originally, he only got 7 years. That was the case. Of course, Germany's a little different on the punishment, I think, than we are. But he only got 7 years. But they actually went back and corrected it and made it a life sentence. So he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. For the rest of his life. But yeah, uh, this is a weird story. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, I can understand depression. I can understand even suicidal fantasies and stuff like that. But when it comes to, it's not even suicidal. I mean, you're not doing it yourself. You're having somebody do it. This is
Yeah.
self-homicidal fantasies. Um, it's a wild, it's a wild one, and it's very disturbing. We talked about mental health many times, and so obviously some people are just so distraught in their situation or whatever that they feel no other recourse. But that's a wild one. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I don't know. Like you said, I mean, mission accomplished. But what a wild one it was. Uh, yeah. All right. Daddy's home. Daddy's home. Tom MacDonald, Roseanne Barr. It's not really a new story. It's just new to me. I never saw this video before. I don't know if you had or not. With Roseanne Barr and Tom MacDonald making a fun little video rap there. Yeah, I was just talking about censorship and how I didn't think she should have been fired, but now I think she definitely should have been fired for this. I mean, she should have been fired before she was able to do it. What are your thoughts on this?
Fuck Tom MacDonald. No, it was dumb. Tom MacDonald's whole new gimmick is dumb. And it's a gimmick because he's Canadian, but he's talking about,
has no stake in the game.
So I'm just, I don't know. I just.
And people don't really probably see that aspect of it. And a lot of times I see a lot of people and I think they're only doing this for the money. It's just a money train for them. So they're going to adapt this persona or personality or point of view and just run with it because it's generating, it's a moolah for them. Yeah, that's a wild one. News story: Campbell Soup executive says, "Hey guys, our product, it's just shit for poor people," and maybe insinuating made out of 3D printed meat.
Yeah, this was very disheartening because one, Campbell's isn't that cheap anymore, but compared to the store brand. Also, I've ate my fair share of Campbell's products, soup, whatever. But it's the typical heartless corporate America. It's just disheartening.
Do you think there is truth to that 3D meat, though? You think that's a true story? Do you think that, I mean, the capabilities of that is maybe what little minor pieces that you couldn't tell? Would that be part of it?
perhaps, and I'm not opposed to. I seen a news story. Can't remember if we talked about it on the old pod or whatever, but it's been a few years ago of lab grown meat where you take like a chicken breast, the cells, and regrow it. I'm not opposed to that. I know there's inherent dangers with that. I don't know if that's what they're referring to or some type of artificial meat. I'm sure it's possible. Because I mean, I'm sure it's being looked at, because not to get all eco warrior, but the harvesting of animals, if you will, is pretty harmful to the environment. So, yeah, I'm sure there's some truth to it.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, well, and talk about plastics, found in all our brains and bloodstreams and stuff, and now they're putting stuff like this into the soup. So, I mean, who knows how long they've been doing it anyway. And,
Yeah.
and if it's happening in one product, you can guarantee it's happening in a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, way to go, corporations. This is what I talk about a lot of times, about the lack of regulation what's on certain things. It just lets them go wild and do whatever they want without any care about the public's health, which is crazy to me. Medicare plan pilot program for CBD for seniors. Now, is this across the board? Tell me what we got here.
The way I understood it was across the board, but what confuses me is, and maybe I need to go back and reread the article, it may touch on this, but it's a good plan, but with that THC bill that they snuck in there, it will affect just the CBD market as well. So I'm for this. I think it's useful, but I'm just concerned at the reality of it and if it'll actually come to fruition due to that. So,
right, yeah, definitely, probably going to neuter it, I would think.
Yeah.
At the very least. So, all right. So Warner Brothers was suing Suno. I was talking about this app program a couple podcasts ago in the last podcast. I said sumo, but it's not a wrestler. It's Suno. It's Warner Brothers. They were suing them, but now not only is Warner Brothers, there's a lot of other companies suing them as well. Sony's suing them, probably a lot of the big record companies, but Warner, instead of going along with the lawsuit, dropped the lawsuit and struck a deal with them, and are going to do some kind of partner program with them. I'm hearing from a lot of people now that they're kind of freaking out, the people that use this a lot, saying that because what they do now, again, we talked about the wild, wild west of it, where people can just make whatever they want, download it, upload it to places that will monetize it, can make money off of the stuff. And I'm assuming that they're saying that with the Warner deal, that's going to be more regulated. They're going to get a cut of the pie. That's just it.
Oh yeah.
These big companies will never allow you to be the one who makes the money. Once stuff like this happens, it's going to be a big part of that system, because they have to get their hands in it. So it's up in the air of what this actually means. And again, they still have lawsuits from other ones too. So who knows? But I have used this program. I do kind of like it. It's kind of cool. You can do pretty much anything you want, and it's in varying degrees too. You can just type in a prompt of like, make me a song, make me a 90s rock song about flowers or whatever you want, and it'll make you a song. Or you can get way more descriptive about it. Make me a mid-tempo song with a progressive chord. All kinds of stuff. You can get as descriptive as you want. Now they might not get everything exactly right, but they'll try. You can do it that way. You can also if you have your own lyrics, you can upload your lyrics to it, and then they can put those to songs and that kind of stuff. You can also upload your own music to it, or you can also record if you want to do an acapella, or if you've got a guitar and you want to play and sing, you can record that into it and then filter that and add more layers to it. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. Of course, a lot of people are just using like, make me a song, make me this, and then they'll make a song real quick and throw it off and try to get money for it, I guess. And they're hit or miss. Usually, what they'll do is they'll give you like at least two versions of your song that you want, two sometimes more if you need them, and then you kind of pick which one you like better. If you want to tweak it or whatever, you tweak it. But I mean, it's kind of neat. But again, I just don't see it lasting.
No. I mean, I think we even mentioned it on the last podcast. How long would it be? How long would it be the Wild Wild West? And well, here we are. So,
yeah, it was quick.
Yeah,
it was real quick. Yeah,
yeah. I think we can expect subscription services with this because, like you said, they're going to get a slice of the pie. So,
well, there's already service.
right.
You can only do so much for free. There's tiers, obviously, but
yeah.
If you mean like a subscription service well, I think they're saying. They're thinking maybe like they're not going to let you download so many, maybe like there's and then also they're going to work because obviously these AI have been trained with actual real music, so that's I think the main focus where all these lawsuits are coming from. These companies saying they used our music to train these AIs,
Right.
So I assume like with that, it's going to be more like, well, if it sounds like so and so, you have to copyright it. You have to either not do it or give them a part of the royalties or something. I don't know how. Again, it's kind of up in the air, but it's going to definitely, obviously, control it somehow. Whether it's either by controlling the number of downloads, maybe controlling all downloads, or making sure copyright infringement isn't taking place, kind of a deal. So, yeah. We'll see. It's just one of those. All right. The pizza machine. You talked about the pizza machine a little bit. Now I've heard about this guy. It's been quite a while. I hadn't heard about much of him in a while. I know he's in Cookville. He kind of goes everywhere. But where he was over in your town, was he?
Yeah. Done a little Black Friday shopping. Me and the family came out, and it was we were all kind of wanting some lunch. The pizza smelled great, so went over. Ordered a pizza, and this was the first that I'd heard of this type of format. But I was like, "So we pay now, or when we come back?" He's like, "Whenever." I'm like, "All right, how much is it?" And he's like, "Oh, we don't do, we don't do prices." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I think we gave him like $20, maybe 25. I don't know what it was, but pretty generous donation. And then my wife tells me she follows him on Facebook, and he donates a lot of the unused food to local homeless shelters and things like that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Seemed like a super chill dude. So like, we were texting about, I would much rather donate to a cause like that as to be honest, some local churches. That's just my feeling about it. But
yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like, obviously he's doing good in all different communities. He's just kind of going here and there and everywhere. And it's a family thing too. I think his family usually with him, or sometimes they are. But the way, and again, I've never gotten a pizza from him. But so the thing is, like, you could be homeless, or just like you're just down on your luck. You don't have a lot of money this week. You can go up there, get a pizza. You don't have to pay anything, right? You don't have to donate anything. You get the pizza and go. And then the next guy will maybe, he'll be more generous, and he'll just kind of go with that. So it's a very Jesus kind of thing, which I think it's really good. I mean, this is a great service for people that again, at hard times like these where not everybody has extra money for a pizza, even,
Yeah.
So to go around and do that and not expect the money, just hope for some donations as you go. It's very admirable. So yeah, I think everybody should follow him, and if he comes to your town, just go and check him out, get some pizza, make some donations, and keep him going because
Yeah.
it's a really good thing because I mean because there's a lot of people who are down on their luck who maybe have too much pride and they're not going to go to certain handout programs or all these shelters and things like that. They're not going to maybe go do all this stuff. But if it comes to just like going up and getting a pizza, I mean, I feel like that's just a little bit simpler thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's the Pizza Machine 3. Is that it? Is
Yep.
that on Facebook? That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool stuff. Jack the Ripper Unmasked. I think I'd heard about this for a while now. Of course, they talked about DNA evidence and stuff. And obviously, it was a Polish barber that they kind of suspected. I mean, that's cool. I mean, better late than never, right?
Yeah, supposedly there is a dispute with it, though. Apparently,
Okay.
they did some. Reading the article, they did some kind of super advanced DNA testing, and then they could hit it that one time, and it was all accurate, but they couldn't replicate it again. So
Really?
and I know that's like a dumbed down version of all the technical terms, but yeah, apparently it was the barber, but there might be still a sliver of dispute. So,
Well, I don't know, obviously, enough about this, but when you talk about a piece of clothing from the 1800s,
yeah.
like, that was so long ago, how good is that as evidence?
I mean, I guess it depends on how it was preserved.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, you think at that time period, how well could they have preserved anything?
Right.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, well, I don't think he's going to see any jail time. That's just me.
No.
The penny.
Bye bye.
The penny went away. People are already freaking out. I'm already seeing places saying because of the penny shortage. Shortage already? We just stopped the damn thing.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? At first, I was kind of like, yeah, we don't really need pennies. But now I'm kind of thinking like, I don't know. Maybe we should just do away with all change if we want to do it. Because all this does is eventually, and it's not eventually. It's already started. It won't give you any things back. So if you don't have the pennies yourselves, you have to round it up. So you're rounding up all the time and stuff. I mean, and you think about it, it's like, well, that ain't going to make a difference. But over time, with everybody, that makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I'm kind of like yourself. At first, I was like, okay, it's just a penny, but how long before they get rid of the nickel or the dime?
Well, apparently the nickels cost more to make than they're worth too. So,
and then it keeps going and going, and you're just rounding up constantly. So, I mean, again, I think in the grand scheme of things, it probably is minimal, but I think it's the precedent it sets more than anything. So,
yeah, I mean, I realize a lot of people don't use cash anymore, so it's not going to be crazily affected by this sort of thing. But yeah, I just think that over time, you're definitely losing more money than if you are using a lot of change. I just think that it's okay to do it, maybe, but probably like some of our pricing systems should be changed before they even implement it. You know what I mean? Like instead of $6.99, just make it $7, right? Or even out maybe where just these structures should kind of be in place where maybe it wouldn't cost them people. Wouldn't cost them people actual money because at the end of the day, that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
All right. Stranger Things are back. Strangers. It's been so long. Damn, I was like, this is season 5. It's been going since how long? 2016. 2016. Holy crap.
Yep.
That's a long time. That's a long time. For 5 seasons of the show. I was, It'd been so long, I was like, I don't even think I like this show much anymore. But then when I started watching the new season, like, oh yeah, now I remember why I like the show.
Yeah.
It's just a weird. Go ahead.
No, I actually watched all 4 episodes of the new season.
Yeah.
The girls were cooperative and were kind of chilled out on their tablets, so we just binged it. I don't know how many episodes in you are, but
I watched them all. I did. I just watched them all last night. Just
okay. Then for anybody who hasn't seen it, I'll try to avoid spoilers as best I can. I thought it set the table really well for, this was kind of act one of the 3-part release schedule. I thought it set the table really well for what's to come. I think it had like a $400 to $500 million production budget. This season did, and you can tell it. It's cinema quality. Very, very good special effects. But no, the story, the lore, I think really holds up. Even though it has been so long, the characters are so well developed that I think it does hold up. But no, I was very, very pleased with the first 4 episodes.
Yeah. There is a reference in the fourth episode. I won't give it too much away, but it does reference the second season, which was my least favorite season, and it was the one I got stuck on for a long time. But I think with this season, it kind of really did harken back to the original, especially when we're getting lost in the Upside Down a lot. So I really like that. Obviously, Vecna is a great villain, so all that is playing out really good, I think. So yeah, I'm drawn back in. I'm like, yeah. But before it came on, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to watch this or not because it's been so long. But yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Did you know the story about this now? Did you know the story about how this all came to be anyway? The Duffer Brothers, I guess they pitched, I'm assuming to WB, that they wanted to do I assume it might have been a series of it, a new series of it, or maybe a movie. This is before the new movies came out, and I guess for whatever reason or another, it didn't happen. I guess they got turned down, or I'm not sure what exactly the story was, but that was their whole thing, was they wanted to sort of remake it, and so they were like, well, let's just make our own version of it, and that's kind of what Stranger Things became. And you can definitely tell the influences there, obviously, but yeah, they definitely made it their own, made something really good here. I'm okay with the ending though, especially because it takes so dang long for it to be on there. But yeah, I mean, it's been, like I said, I really love the first season. I got kind of stuck there in the second one. It took me a long time to finish that one. When I finally came back, the third and fourth, I just watched, binged it, I think, pretty good. So yeah, it's a good show. It's kind of the show that made Netflix, I think, in a way. The original. I mean, they've had a lot of good shows since, but that's the one that I know House of Cards was before that. It was popular, but this is the one where everybody's like, "Oh, pretty good stuff."
It crashed Netflix on Wednesday night.
Did it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about this story? And I haven't followed up on it, so I don't know where it is now. But of 11, Millie Brown getting a restraining order or something, or like having some sort of legal thing against her on-screen dad. What was that? Did you know
I've
anything about
seen
that?
a little bit about that, but I like yourself, I haven't followed up either. So
Yeah. It's a little wild. I assume everything's been shot and everything done anyway, but
yeah. Oh yeah.
maybe she was waiting for that and be like, I can let you know. Kind of a deal. Yeah, but so anyway, if people like Stranger Things, go ahead and check it out. It did not
Oh
disappoint, I
yeah.
don't think.
The thing that I think is really cool about this release schedule that they've got, they're doing it Thanksgiving weekend, Christmas weekend, and New Year's Eve. You know, we've talked about on here before that appointment viewing is few and far between in this day and age, and they've made the biggest show on Netflix, the finale. This is it, you know, appointment viewing, because it's going to be the water cooler talk as people go back into work after these long holiday weekends. So I don't know. I thought that was some smart marketing on their part.
Well, it definitely is, yeah, because you're definitely going to get more eyeballs there in that first few days because, like you said, people are usually on a holiday. They're usually home, whereas they might not necessarily be if they dropped it as just a random time and
Yeah.
as a one whole season. So, yeah, very smart, very smart stuff. All right, up next, Jack White. You got Jack White. You watching Jack White? Tell us about it.
Yeah. I played halftime of the Packers Lions game. I was obviously watching that, being a massive Packers fan, was pleased with the outcome. But the halftime show was pretty cool. I did not realize you were not a Jack White fan.
I am
But
not.
I did think this halftime show was pretty cool with the addition of Eminem coming out, doing a little remix of "Till I Collapse." Thought it was pretty cool though.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. As far as myself, no, I'm not a fan. Now, have I followed his whole entire catalog? No, I have not at all. But back when I was in Your Ex-Girlfriend, I had a band member who was obsessed with the White Stripes and was just like gawking constantly about how awesome they were. And I'd heard maybe one or two songs on the radio, and I wasn't particularly impressed with it. But so, I mean, I did my due diligence though. I mean, I sat down with that album and I listened to it like two or three times, just like as a whole, just trying to get it and see if I connected with it at all. And I just didn't like it. And I don't know, I can't really explain it to you, but there was something about that, especially in the beginning with Meg and everything, that sort of pompous arrogance about, oh, are we boyfriend and girlfriend? Are we married? Are we sisters and brothers? What are we? What are we? Kind of a deal. Like that stuff. But uh, most of his music I thought was definitely just a blend of older stuff, um, which to me at that time, especially at that period of time, I thought, well, that if I want to hear the older stuff, I'll just listen to it. So I didn't find his stuff particularly unique or enthralling. That's just a personal opinion. But so yeah, but I did give it a shot. Just like, hey, look, I used to give Britney Spears shit, and I listened to a couple of her CDs to see if I was correct and thinking it wasn't very good, and I didn't like it. I like one song of hers, so I gave it a chance. I gave it a chance, but not for me. Not for me. Yeah. All right. Still a lot to talk about. I guess we're going to get into the political version, or the political portion, rather, of this. I call it Trump Tales. Um, let's see here. There's a bunch, so I'll just run through a bunch and you tell me what you think. Trump so, social, Trump Social, that platform of his, they introduced an AI tool on there, I guess that you could use. Apparently, a bunch of people ask about certain things and about tariffs, January 6th, and his desperate attempt at a Nobel Peace Prize. And apparently, it didn't go probably the way he wanted, did it?
No, no. I can't remember the exact thing, but I think it basically contradicted everything that he's said in regards to all those topics. So, quite hilarious. Quite hilarious. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, Saudi Crown Prince gives $1 trillion investment in the U.S. Is it because we're so hot right now? What is the reason for
I
this?
I think that's got to be the reason. I don't know. Did he ever say what the investments were for, or is he just throwing around magical
I,
numbers?
oh, I'm sure it's for something. That they're not gonna tell us what it was for, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see that interview though, when they were there and a reporter was asking him about that guy that he beheaded or had beheaded?
Oh, and yeah, I did see that. I can't remember exactly what Trump said, but
He was just like basically like we got a guest, be respectful, kind of a
yeah,
deal. It's like, yeah, let's not talk about the beheading of a journalist. That's silly. Let's just
yeah.
let that go. Let all that go. So last time, last podcast, I was like, they're not going to release the Epstein files. Then that probably like the next day, they're like, we're going to release the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, it hasn't been released yet. But um, does this turn? Does it make you a little bit spectacle of everything? Do you feel like that perhaps could be a little bit more nefarious things here? I know they had that big meeting about with the meeting of the minds about the Epstein files. Do you think that they finally figured out a way to show without showing?
Oh yeah, they'll be redacted to hell and back. I have no doubt. I think there'll probably be a couple of people go down just to say they did something, but I think it's gonna be redacted. Uh, it won't be the full thing. No.
No. And that's the thing, right? They realized that this wasn't going away, that they had to do something, but they're not going to implicate themselves. I mean, that's
No.
just that's just impossible. But they're going to expect the American public to be like to just whatever they give them, be like, this is it. Let's let it go now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Let's see here. Um. So there's this journalist, UK journalist, or I'm sorry, author, uh, Andrew Lorney. He says he wrote a book, and first of all, he says that he knows who killed Epstein. But in this book that he wrote, which was the downfall of York, it's the downfall of Prince Charles and his family over there. But what happened was there was a chapter in there about Epstein that allegedly said that Epstein was Melania's lover before she was with Trump, and Epstein gave her to Trump. And this was a part of the book that was released at first. I think it first came out in Canada, maybe in the UK. So, and I looked this up, and it is actually true. And I did read the new version. It's not in there at all. I read that chapter on Epstein, not in there. And what happened was they found out about it. Melania threatened to sue him and his publishing company, whatever, and they were forced to take it out of all of the new printings, especially when it came to the U.S. So nobody in the U.S. unless you really know about it was going to even know that was in there. And this is the thing. This is, I think, the biggest problem that we have here right now is the fear of doing anything because, let's face it, Trump has lawyers, and he's had these lawyers for years. He's been suing people. Suing people has been his pastime for way beyond before he was president. All he's got to do is even threaten to sue a company, and that's going to put that company, in possible jeopardy. And then, so for a lot of these people are scared to go up against the Trumps and all of them and their buddies because they're afraid of getting sued. Because that's all he does is constantly sue people, doesn't he?
Yeah. No, and you're right. I don't know why there's this fear. I don't know why.
Well, nobody wants to get sued. I mean, let's face it.
No, but like it's so it just why should I don't even can't put the words together. The president shouldn't be suing anyone. That's the inherent problem here. Is freedom of the press, freedom of speech, as we've talked about. And if you come out with anything disparaging, even if it's true, you could get sued. That's the inherent problem.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, and we're talking like, obviously he's got some high-powered lawyers. I mean, we're talking about Johnny Cochran on steroids, probably what he
Yeah.
has, that can pretty much damage any company or person. And that's the whole thing about this whole judicial system, about suing people or trying to get things. Like, you could go in debt easily trying to get something accomplished in the courts, and it shouldn't be that way, but it is. So when you have all the money to throw at something, I mean, let's face it, his lawyers are on personal 24/7, all year long retainer. I mean, they
Yeah.
probably live in the penthouse. You know what I mean? They live like Kalen in the guest house. They're always
Yeah.
there. He always has them. So it's like you shouldn't have the ability to just, like you said, sue everybody, anybody you want. Sue America. Sue, sue 60 Minutes. Sue everybody. It's wild. All right. Let's see. One of the big things that's happened over these last couple of weeks is all these outbursts that Trump has been doing, and he's done this his whole career, but they're just seemingly getting worse. Two reporters, he called one reporter Piggy, talking about, she was asking about the Epstein file. There was another one, called this reporter, are you stupid? Are you stupid? And then called her stupid. Now, this is nothing new, again, but not only does he do it, but his press secretary does it, and Bondi does it. All these people, they really defame these reporters, and they belittle them right to their face and on TV, and it's really kind of disgusting how much lack of respect we have for these people. And these reporters, they just take it because they're professional. And it would be nice to see some courtesy on the opposite side there. But not only does it go to that, but we had there was a video that got made, basically trying to tell the troops, trying to tell them to obey the laws, and he goes on a rant, basically wanting to behead some Democrats, saying that George Washington would do it. Like, what the heck is this? And then just recently, he called Governor Tim Waltz retarded, and apparently inflicted the air of a Indiana Republican guy. He's like, I'm going to vote no on certain things. He's really disgusting with it. How could you not? With all this stuff that he's saying to these people, the lack of disrespect.
No, in regards to just all these outbursts, like you said, he's been doing it his entire career, his entire time in the political spotlight. But it's president of the United States. Like, I'm not saying there shouldn't be a little. I don't know what the term is, but this isn't it. This is just pathetic. Bush was a buffoon. Obama he was extremely charismatic, for better or for worse. He was a very very good with words. Biden could muster it every once in a while, but the thing they had was they behaved in a manner fit of the office, whether you agreed with their policies or not. Even Clinton, Reagan, nobody's ever seen this. And we talk about it all the time, but my goodness, it rears its head all the time. It's just like you said, it's disgusting.
Yeah, and I wonder how much it does sort of um, alter reporters when they come to talk to him. I mean, obviously some of them are just still giving it to him, giving him the hard questions he doesn't want to hear. But I wonder if certain ones are like, oh, I don't want to say that. I don't want to make him mad. I don't want to, make him yell at me or insult me
Yeah.
and all this stuff. But um, I'm glad that these reporters are doing it. But I wish they were just like, you know what? Let me tell you about yourself, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just getting worse and worse, and I don't expect that to change, except for acceleration, probably. Of course, we talked about pardons, him, pardoning all the January Sixers before, and of course, one of those guys who got pardoned, he was arrested for molesting an 11-year-old boy recently. So possibly, maybe some of those people should have stayed in there for a little longer.
Nah, they're patriots.
They're Patriots, so okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Right, right. Speaking of Patriots, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now here's an interesting character. Um, First known for her outlandish tales and uh, just catchphrases or whatever that she would say, right? For the longest time, being very extreme. I won't even say right. I'm not sure. She might have been south. I don't know. She was just somewhere,
Yeah.
but totally on a different level there than most. But then I don't. So she sort of started changing a little bit here in the last few months, and I noticed that, and some of the stuff she was saying started making sense. You started agreeing with some of the stuff, and I honestly thought it was just a publicity stunt because she was afraid of not getting uh, her seat back. I thought maybe she didn't think she'd be reelected or something. But that's not the case, is it?
No, she's resigning
Yeah,
January 5th, I believe it is. So,
yeah,
and that's the crazy part is she is making sense. Do I trust it fully? No, but I think the more important thing is this is a crack in the in the MAGA armor. This is to kind of loop back in Stranger Things. This is like a chink in the hive mind. Maybe maybe something's breaking through. So it's interesting because at some point you figure out that snake oil ain't working. Yeah. So I don't know. It is a wild timeline that you find yourself agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene, though. But
yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, she found out real quickly what happens when you don't agree with Trump completely, because
yep,
you just incur his wrath, and he belittles you to the point of, she obviously felt threatened. Um, I'm not sure that's the only reason she's resigning, but I think that might be a part of it. You
yeah,
know, so um, it's sad that even in your own party there is no, unless you have undying loyalty to him, you're not going to get that beneficial treatment.
right,
He can turn on you on a dime once you don't agree with one or two things he says. So there's no loyalty from him. He expects it from you, but it doesn't get reciprocated there at all. You
no,
know, when I was watching a little bit of that, him and the Momnami meeting there, you know what I was thinking the whole time?
hmm.
I was thinking, is this just a wrestling performance?
You know, all right, you pulled my string. Uh, I have, as has been well documented, am a massive wrestling nerd, and Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer, and really, him and Vince McMahon had the Battle of the Billionaires. I think it was 2007. Done huge business, and he'd already had a working relationship. A couple of the other WrestleManias were held at Trump Plaza. He appeared even after the Battle of the Billionaires, and when he came on the scene in 2015, 2016, there was a lot of wrestling performance in his politics. He brought WWE into politics. The big crowds, the entrance music, if you will, to YMCA or whatever the hell he was coming out to, and the dancing, and basically cutting a promo just on Hillary or Biden or Kamala, and just and it, riling up the base. It was a different form of we're going to Iowa and we're going to Pennsylvania. It was a lot more heelish to some, but I have often thought that, and here's the issue with that. Some people think it's real, and that's dangerous. They're lost in the sauce, and it is outlandish stuff. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. It's just, to use a wrestling term, anything for a pop, anything for a crowd reaction.
Right. Yes.
And it's the dog's kind of getting off the chain a little bit, because you've got this rabid fan base, but it's I think it's like I said, it's went a little too far. The Mamdani thing was very weird, because he basically called him a fascist, and Trump's like, yeah, that's all right, just say yes.
Yeah, I know. And did you see, like, was it like the next day or next week, he was dressing like him?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? I'm like,
so weird.
Is this a bromance already? I mean, it's just, it makes no sense. So
no.
I don't know, but that's the only thing that popped in my head. Just looking at that was like, this is such a farce.
There is a wrestler, to kind of tie this full circle a little bit, a female wrestler named Becky Lynch. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but do yourself a favor and look up her Twitter. She's doing Trump. She's recently lost a title to a young up-and-comer, and went on Twitter and it was rigged. The referee didn't have the proper license, and all of this stuff. Calling people these outlandish nicknames. It's in all caps. And hearing, I think her name is Rebecca Quinn. She's Irish. Hearing her in other interviews, I don't think this is out of admiration. I think this is strictly showing people that, yeah, this is farcical, what he's doing. So I'm going to do it in my art form. But yeah, do yourself a favor, look that up. It's pretty good little take on it. But no, it's all ridiculous. The whole fucking thing. It's just a reality show.
This was rigged. Yeah, it actually was rigged. Actually, now that you mention it. All right. Nick Fuentes, wanting to take power back from women from voting and probably a million other things. What's this guy's deal?
Supposedly, I think it was on one of the first shows we did. Him and Charlie Kirk had beef, and I guess theorizing he's filling the void that Kirk left behind to some degree and is gaining more power. And I think it's some of his views are out there, way out there, too far out there. And I think it's dangerous.
And again,
I don't like it.
this could just be a power play for money, but what he's doing to impressionable minds is not cool.
No.
I hear a lot of people saying like he's even too far for a lot of the MAGA crowd. Even like there's certain people like no, we don't touch that. But obviously he's connecting to some of them. But yeah, when you got somebody who's just spewing this sort of stuff out there all the time, and again, if you're listening to this and nothing really that sort of contradicts it, I mean, it's probably easy to get lost into and be like, oh yeah, he's making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But is he though?
Yeah, this is one of the dangers of social media / the internet, because to your point, people who are kind of looking for answers to something will stumble across him, stumble across Andrew Tate, stumble across whomever, and just start getting wild ass ideas that they latch onto. And yeah.
Well, we already seen what happened with pizza kids. It's easy to come across an idea and just run with it and believe it's true, even though it was completely made up. Again, that's sort of a wrestling thing, that people are taking it as true. Ex-staffer, who was it? Natalie Greene, I think it was. For Jeff Van Drew, staging political violence against herself, saying she was attacked when she actually wasn't. This is fun, huh? Speaking of, misinformation.
I feel like this isn't the first time this has happened. It's just the first time they've gotten caught. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, I'm just, yeah, and like you said, if they hadn't gotten caught, then obviously it was believed. So, and that's the scary part. It's like people doing this to make it seem, to just paint that picture of a different side is just scary. No matter which one you're doing, it's like, an actor did this years ago. Do you remember that? He was on Empire, I think. In Chicago up there.
Yes, I'd actually forgotten about that, but yes.
Yeah. So, what's this supposed to accomplish with you? For sympathy, I guess. But this is crazy. So, be careful what you hear. You never know. You honestly never know. Nurses, no longer a professional degree, no longer a professional career. Nursing. This is fun.
So I've heard some conflicting reports that it was only certain types of nursing, like whatever. Okay, I don't care if it's physical therapist. Fuck, you got to go to school to be a chiropractor, even though I think that's kind of a quack science. I mean, to just dismiss something. I mean, this is coming from the same administration who's wanting to get rid of the Department of Education. So to just start saying, well, no, nursing isn't a professional field. Like, what? No, like, fuck off. I don't understand it. How does this help anybody?
Well, I only see it as possibly the part of the Project 2025 deal with sort of lessen women's roles in society, and making them feel a little less than, and have certain degrees that were definitely led by women. Be like, oh, this isn't as important. So which could lead to less turnouts for it, and also less pay, and all this stuff. So it's not good. It's not good, especially these people are if you want to talk about essential workers.
Yeah,
They're the top line. So uh, get a doctor to give you a shot. See what happens.
exactly. Exactly.
What do I do? I don't do that. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So, moving on. The Obama subsidies extension, yay, nay, may. Where are we at? I mean, it's like,
I think
good.
that scene where there's a plan in place to extend them for 2 years. So,
I saw that, and then I saw that there was pushback on that. So I don't know where it is.
well, my thing is, okay, the Democrats fumbled the ball with the momentum they had coming out of those mayoral elections
Mm-hmm.
and Mamdani and others winning across the East Coast because they come right out of that with momentum. And then they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll just open it back up. You promised to vote. Cool. That's fine with us. But then the Republicans turn right around and they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll extend it 2 years because we don't have a better plan.
They don't have a vote for them. Can't think of anything.
And I'm just like, so why was the government shut down? Like, what are we doing here? And I'm calling out both parties because it's just like, what?
Well, I assume at that point they were refusing to do any extension, right? At least that was probably the threat of it. Again, that might not have ever happened
Yeah.
with it. I mean, the point is, Trump does desperately want to get Obamacare out of there and bring in Trump care. And he doesn't really care if it's literally the same thing. He just wants his name on it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the goal. I think that's why they don't want to extend it, because if you extend it, then there's no need to change it, or it's harder to change, I would assume. So that's the whole point of it. And I think that's why they're wishy-washy about it. And until it's actually said and done, I don't know if I can trust it, So
No, I agree.
Yeah. Peter Thiel, he is found the Antichrist.
South Park did it again.
Who is the coming of Satan? Who is it?
Pope Leo.
Yeah, Pope Leo, that guy.
And it's, I think if I remember right, he said he's the Antichrist because his morals aren't exactly that of a typical pope or something along those lines. And I'm just like, calling out the Pope's morals.
Yeah.
What? And I mean, I don't know. I just, wow. Okay.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it?
No.
Well, what's he supposed to do, really? I mean, what does he hope to gain out of this, other than looking like a quack? I mean, what's the goal? What's the goal here? He wants to take down the Pope. He's gonna bring an exorcist over there.
Maybe. I don't even know. But yeah.
Oh, fun stuff. Okay, what about ICE? We got ICE detaining people left and right all the time. Detains the relative of the Washington Secretary, Carolyn Leavitt. What do you think about this?
I'm sure they were released, probably gave some cash or something after they figured out who the hell it was. I mean,
I don't know. I haven't heard that. It might have happened. Last I heard, their family was setting up a GoFundMe for her because they were saying that she could be deported or was about to be deported. I don't know. If it happened. So it might not happen, but it's getting pretty close for it. I think they might, but they didn't just let her go. No, it wouldn't like, oh, never mind, sorry about that. They're like, you're
Yeah.
going. Um,
They're just rounding up whoever the fuck. And I mean, it again, the same question I've asked since January, and I will continue to ask is who does this help? What does this help? Just rounding up people, and you're fucking up left and right. So, well, it's ridiculous.
yeah. Well, Matt sent me a video on Facebook recently. It was about Bush, not W, but his dad, Bush Senior, and Reagan. They were talking. They were talking about, it was just, obviously way back in the day, talking about Mexico and Canada, mostly Mexico. They were basically advocating for open borders. They were advocating for like letting people come in and all that stuff. Now, obviously, different time and stuff there, but they were talking about how they can't make a living, can't make a wage down there, and they're really hurting, and it's our duty to help them out. You don't see that in this administration. No, while I
No,
don't agree with he literally said open borders. While I don't agree with that personally, I don't agree with open borders, and I do think that from everything that's being said, that there probably was too much of that going on in the previous administration. Um, so I mean that's probably one of the sticking points that Trump has. That people can say, look, this is what he did this. This is really good.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, the whole thing of let's get everybody out of here. Let's rewind and take them out. It's just a ridiculous sort of notion,
yeah,
and no end in sight though. Looks like.
no, sadly.
Yeah. I sent you a video a little bit about the Overton window, which is that scale about political beliefs and ideologies, how it sort of changes a little bit over time, certain things, which is it's an interesting concept about how like certain things become norms, and they're no longer faux pas, they're not no longer something that people are against. But I feel like it's a little bit nuanced though, because like yes, this does happen. Obviously, when laws come into place, people abide by laws more, obviously. But I don't know if beliefs, which we've seen now with a lot of things that have kind of got reversed with this new this administration, um, like because it's like okay, we're talking about like same-sex marriage and stuff. Like, yes, obviously, we evolved enough to allow it to be legal and all that stuff in this country, but I don't know if like, and I think probably some people do change their minds, but there's still those people, as we talked about last time, Kim Davis, who is never going to get on this page, right? Never, no matter what. Uh, so how relevant do you think this is to sort of figure out the sort of spectrum?
No, I mean, well, we've already touched on it in this episode and previous ones. I mean, we're in uncharted waters. Like I am just flabbergasted that the skeletons in this man's closet and he is still the president. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, obviously a lot more is accepted now, and I don't know why, but I think that's a really good judge of of things right now. Also, got a guest. He wants
Ah,
to he wants to chime in. This is Mr. Oscar.
all right, Oscar,
Um,
let's talk about Trump.
oh, that's what he thinks.
Oh,
All right.
I think he said he's an ass. I think
Yep.
that's general consensus.
Uh, no, it's it is. It's a really interesting concept, and I think it's I think it is a good barometer of things because I would have never thought I will be on my deathbed and I will still be wondering how he got elected a second time. And it's just what's acceptable now. I don't understand it.
Well, yeah. The, I think, you know, certain people, they're going to be against. Oh, let's talk about this. This reminds me of Michelle Obama came out recently and she said, um, "Don't ask me to be running for president next time." It's like you guys have proved that you can't handle a woman president.
Yep.
Don't ask me to get on board with this because you've demonstrated time and obviously time again here that it's not going to be a thing. A lot of people a lot of people criticize her for this. A lot of people say, it's not true. It's not true. Blah, blah, blah. It's just this, it's got to be the right candidate. I can agree with that point, but I actually do agree with her on this. And I'm going to tell you this. It's like, I think right now we are at a desperate time for correcting this sinking ship.
Yeah.
And this isn't the time to play games. This isn't the time to try to get firsts. This is the time that you have to put your strongest warrior in there and figure it out somehow to get this turned around somehow, some way, no matter what. And and I will tell you that while I do think if we had a better candidate, because I didn't like either one of those, honestly, as a president, but I think if you had a really strong one, then yeah. And honestly, I could see Michelle Obama doing it. But right now, I think we got to focus on winning and we got to fight fire with fire. And there are a lot of men in this country. And as much progression that as we have done, there's a lot of men in this country who will never vote for a woman ever. When I heard after that debate, when I heard that Biden was stepping down, I was like, yes. It was a very fast reaction. It was like, yes. And then I read the article, and when they said that Kamala was taking over, I was like, no, because I knew right then. I was like, this isn't going to work. She's not going to win.
Yeah.
And uh, and again, it's just because of those things. And I think, and I don't, I'm not saying we won't get there. I think we will. I think we're getting close. I think we're getting close. But I think right now we have such division, and we have these people like the Tate and the Fuentes guy, the Nick guy, um, spewing all this hate, especially toward women and stuff, getting these younger people sort of brainwashed, young voters. I don't know. I just don't feel like this is the right time because I think these guys have to get out. We can't afford to let a JD Vance run the country next time,
No.
or Trump again, which he's going to try. So that's my take. What's your take on it about what she said and the implications of all that?
I think she is right to a point. No, I definitely think right now would be the wrong time because Hillary had too much baggage. Kamala, I think, was thrust in. She was the lamb to slaughter.
She was, but the thing about her is, I didn't really hear that much about her during the whole vice presidency that she had. I mean, when Obama was president, you heard about Michelle Obama doing stuff all the time, didn't you?
Yeah.
more than Biden. But I just feel like that was just kind of in the culture. But like with her, it was very quiet. So for her to just, like you said, jump in there to be the lamb, it wasn't going to work.
No. And I agree. I think we'll get there. If they could ever, it would melt the Republicans' brains and the MAGA's brains Michelle Obama ran. And I think with time and the right movement, she could do it. But I think AOC would be fine, but I don't want her just yet. Jasmine Crockett, I think, could be fun and interesting, but again, there needs to be some healing before we can really start getting on a really good track.
Yeah, if it's even possible. I mean, there is such a division these days that I don't know, but yeah, I mean, again, I think it will happen in the future. I do think it will, but right now, I just think that we've got to do a little change of course if we can somehow.
Yeah.
Last thing I got for you is EPA approves forever chemical pesticide. This is fun. So you got RFK taking stuff out of our food so we can dump stuff on it.
Yep. No, and you see, when you start doing deregulations to bring businesses here, because a lot of times businesses will go to other countries to make products because there's less regulations. Now, food wise, I think a lot of companies would rather make stuff here, especially if it's going to be consumed by Americans. Sure, there's a lot of imports and things, but my point is, when you start taking out regulations, you may wind up with 3D printed meat, like we mentioned earlier, or
Yeah,
you can spray certain pesticides and things of that nature on vegetables and fruits. So, again, it doesn't shock me. It doesn't surprise me. That's where we're at. So
it's just I mean, the level of irony is it's just crazy. It's like, yeah, let's do this. We're gonna promote make America
yeah,
healthy again, right? That was part of the slogan, make
yeah.
America healthy again. And in what
Maha.
part what part of this new chemical pesticide is making people healthy? You know,
Yeah.
it's a tragic shame when you don't take care of your citizens, when you don't care about their health and their education and their. I mean, wouldn't you want a nation that is steadfast and smart and capable? You know, I talked about. I think last time I misquoted. I said that he said Americans were stupid. He didn't say they were stupid. He said they had no talent. That's what he said. You want to bring talented people here because there's no talent. We don't have. His interviewer said, "Don't we have talented people here?" And he said, "No."
Yeah.
So, don't you want a nation? I mean, what's the point of having people who are sick from chemicals or affected by all these products and pesticides and sort of preservatives that we put into these foods? Wouldn't you want a healthy nation that's smart and capable of producing things? That to me seems logical, but I guess not, right? We want more
I
like we
mean,
live.
you don't want them too smart. You want them
You don't. Mm-hmm.
or too healthy, or you just enough to keep them alive and keep them consuming. And maybe a select few will break through that have the right connections.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is counterintuitive, but I don't know. RFK is an idiot. He is. I'm sorry. There was a couple of things he said early on that I kind of agreed with. Peptide therapy, stem cell therapy. None of that's coming to fruition. We got all kinds of crazy shit, getting rid of aspirin, spraying pesticides on vegetables. So they figure out how that's going to make us healthier. I'll be glad to listen, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, I think that's true. All right, man, that's all I got for you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of crazy topics this last 2 weeks. So
Yep.
I'm sure it's going to get even worse. But, you got anything else?
No, I don't think so. No, it's been a crazy couple weeks. And yeah, to your point, I think it's probably not going to slow down. So I'm sure we'll have plenty next time.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully we'll have Matt back next time and we'll
For sure.
rejoin the conversation with him.
Yep.
All right, man. Until then, peace.
Peace.
Crackling news on the old truck radio, preacher's voice, then a talk show blowing smoke. Neighbors fighting on the Facebook feed, saying more than they ever would in the street. There's small town static in the air tonight, buzzing like a fly on a neon light. I miss the hush of a front porch swing, back when silence still meant something. Can't hear the crickets for the satellite. There's too much noise in this quiet life. Trying to tune it out, but I can't quite shake this small town